second in a Group 1. She's got paddock value straight away. But I think she's hulled, but she's obviously got place claims, definitely.
Okay, so to wrap race 5, the first of our Grade 1 features, the Zulu Kingdom Explorer Golden Slipper. The guys here are saying, don't look for anything to beat number 9, Happy Valentine. She could be well on her way to an Equus Award, and she looks to make it 3 from 3. So let's move on to race 6, which is the Durban Golden Horseshoe. It's over 1,400 meters. It's the Colts version this time, and it's Grade 1, and it's over 1,400 meters. And just as we were chatting now about the Alan Robertson winner, we've got the gold medallion winner, who was sold off the Klavervlei farm sale for 100,000 rand. So when we were talking about these horses that are leading lights as 2-year-olds, again, as I said earlier, they could come from anywhere. Captain of all, but he does face some pretty decent opposition here. So let me start this time with you, Sheldon. How do you see this race? Because for me, it's full combat, and full combat. But I am worried about that draw.
That's the only thing that I think can beat full combat. If you look at that run in open company on the 29th of May, the talk was that he'd run an absolute cracker. He was out of his ground. He's running behind a July horse, Astro News. He has beaten a length and 3/4. If he was drawn in single figures, I'd say he'd be a ready-made banker as well. The draw's an obvious concern, but I think the way the track's going to be running and the speed will be on, I think full combat, he is going to be the horse to beat. The main danger is going to be number 3, Captain of All. Now, he's a serious racehorse. He's really impressed in his last 2 victories, and I just feel he's going to have the gate speed. He's going to be there, up there with the pace, and he might be the horse that they all got to crack past that last 200. But full combat, he is going to be the horse to beat, and we know the Mike de Kock stable is going to have him picture perfect for the day, and a lot of guys are tipping him as the winner here, number 7, full combat. So I wouldn't go against him. Looking past those runners, Zambezi Torrent, number 16, he's caught the eye with a good victory over Accelero last time. And then you get Willow Magic, Kochka, so it gets a bit more trickier after that, but I'm going to stick with number 7, full combat, to beat home number 3, Captain of All.
So will you be narrowing your jackpot and your pick 6 selections to those 2? In other words, leaning towards full combat and using Captain of All as your safety net?
I think those will be the 2, and I'd also throw in number 16, Zambezi Torrent, to be safe.
Okay, was impressive last time, came off a strong gallop to win going away. Justin, is it more complicated than that, or is it as simple as that?
I think it's as simple as that. Captain of All, for me, he's the horse to beat because of the full combat draw. I mean, that was an absolute top run behind Astro News. I mean, how often do you see 2-year-olds coming out in May against horses of that quality and running so well? I think he's a future champion horse. He really, really has impressed me in all 3 of his starts. But Captain of All, once again, like Happy Valentine, is the benchmark. He's a Group 1 winner. He's already come out there and done it. His sister stakes placed over 1,400 and 1,500, so distance shouldn't be a problem. He'll probably end up being a better miler than anything else, Captain of All. So I still personally think he's the horse to beat. I think full combat is relatively unknown and a big danger. And I wouldn't write Normans off yet. I've been ultra impressed with this guy. His last run made no sense, and I've ruled a line through it. And he's the type of horse who can come back and show his earlier form, and he'll be in the money as well. A horse like Willow Magic is quality, but 17 draw. That's a killer for me in a 1,400 at Greyville. It really, really doesn't help. So I'm in the Captain of All camp, but full combat, definitely big danger.
Would you throw in Willow Magic into your permutations and Normans, or would you be happy to go with just the 2 full combat and Captain of All?
I think I may throw Normans in for a pick 6. I wouldn't go with Willow Magic because I think he's held by Captain of All, and the draw doesn't help. I can't see him reversing it with these draws, not on the last run.
Not even with Striker in such terrific form?
No.
Okay, well, there you've heard it from the guys, pretty much labeling the 6th race. Remember, these are the easier races because they're non-handicaps. That's, of course, the theory of it. They're all running at pretty much level weights. And the better horses should win, but obviously the draw and the pace can play a role. Full combat, drawn out wide. We think Mike de Kock's the one to beat, but you've got to respect Dennis Dry's Captain of All. Possibly a 2-horse race. Justin saying Norman's a threat. Willow Magic not so, but Sheldon just a little concerned about Zambezi Torrent. We'll be back with you guys just after a very short ad break.
Now, the champions gather for the big one. All eyes on the first Saturday in July as Greyville Racecourse hosts the 117th running of the Vodacom Durban July. It's best against best as the biggest names in horse racing fight for a share of R3.5 million and a place in horse racing history. The champions are gathered. Let the glory unfold. All-Star Horse Racing brought to you by Gold Circle. Bet Tab Gold, the intelligent bet.
Welcome back, guys. We're going to continue going through all of the races. The way we're going to do this is we're now going to skip over the Vodacom Durban July. We're going to go through races 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and conclude our show with a summary of the Vodacom Durban July. Just another reminder, of course, that betting on the full card opens tomorrow. That's totalized at betting throughout the country opens tomorrow, Monday the 1st of July. Your race cards and other publications are already out there in the marketplace. So all of the information is out there for you guys. The 2 false rails, the initial false rail for the first 6 races are around about the 13 to 14 meter mark. And from the Vodacom Durban July onwards, race 7 that is, at around 8 or 9 meters. I also want to remind you, the easiest way to get to the races on Saturday is going to be via the Park and Ride. We launched it last year. It worked extremely well. We've got plenty of buses. They're running every 15 minutes. Park at the old Durban Drive-In. Get there by bus. That's going to be the easiest way to get to the Vodacom Durban July if you haven't got members parking inside the track. But even then, I tell you what, getting in and out of the track if you're on the inside is not always that easy. So my advice, one of the better bets on the day is use the Park and Ride. But let's get back to the horses. The 8th race, the Tukela Handicap, listed over 1,600 meters. Last leg of the first jackpot. Sheldon, I'll start with you again. This race, quite an intriguing little race.
Very, very competitive. Looking at it first glance, there's a couple of horses who stand out, the likes of Ice Machine, General Sherman for me, Berry Blaze, and a horse called Territorial Waters. But once you actually dissect the form and you go through the other runners, it gets more and more tricky. My first selection, I am going to lean with number 13, Territorial Waters from the Tony Ribbelin stable. And the reason being, he's been up there and he's just done it. He does it in his own stride. Coming back to the 1,600 with 53.5 on his back, I think he's going to be very, very competitive. He's going to be my first selection. He beat Jet Explorer by over 3 lengths. That was over the mile. And his last run behind Astro News in the Cup trial, I think there was a lot of merit in it. He was up there. And I think the way the course is going to run on Saturday, Territorial Waters for me is going to be the horse to beat. Could get a little bit of value there. Number 10, General Sherman. I think he's far better than that last run suggests. If you go back in his form, he's improving nicely. And from a neat barrier, 54 on his back, I also make him a definite runner. And then number 8, Berry Blaze, and number 1, Ice Machine. They'll also be my inclusions. Ice Machine, although he's got 62 kilograms on his back, he's done it with the best of them, the Beach Beauties, the Variety Club, and I think they'll be out to prove a point here.
Justin, your boy is riding General Sherman. He's won on him before. Raymond Danielson got a lovely draw, drawn 2. Are you going to be going all in?
This is my each-way bet for the day. Been following this horse for a long time. He's become a real nice, good, hard-knocking handicapping type. His last run was all wrong. Raymond said he wasn't taking to the left-hand bend nicely, although he has done well at Clearwood before. He was coughing after the race. But the 1900 run at Greyville was ultra impressive. He was drawn badly, and Sean was trying to qualify him for the July. And he came from stone last and was running on better than anything for a good 5th. The Cup trial was not his run. I'll put a line through that, but he's really progressed nicely through the ranks. Well drawn, nice galloping weight. Raymond gets on very well with him, and he'll suit Greyville, this horse. He travels to the last moment really, really well, and then he quickens. I'm also in a Territorial Waters camp with Sheldon. I think he's a big runner. He's been doing it in the Cup trial, the Sledgehammer. He's been right there. So he's consistent. He's got a good draw. And Ice Machine as well. 5th to Variety Club, 2nd to Beach Beauty. Earned the 62 kilos that he's carrying here. So it's very open though. It's a big field. There's a lot of horses with chances. Hammy's Dynasty is one with a chance as well. But General Sherman for me is the each way bet. I can see him winning here, and he'll be a decent price on the day, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is a tough handicap. It's a Tequila handicap. It's a listed race over 1,600 meters. Everybody wants to win on Vodacom Durban July. It's going to be a mad scramble. The pace will be on, but I'm with these guys. I think Territorial Waters is absolutely ideally course and distance suited. It would be lovely to see Mary Liley winning a race on Vodacom Durban July Day for Tony Riveland. Sean Veal has been in particularly good form. And so all the factors are right for Territorial Waters, but I've been a General Sherman fan for such a long time that certainly in my jackpots and my pick sixes, for what it's worth, I'm going to just go with the 2 horses. I'm going to obviously be on my knees a little bit, but I'm going with General Sherman and Territorial Waters. So guys, we all seem to be pretty much on the same page. But all of that being said, the only certain way to get through that leg is probably including the whole field, because it is that tough. And it is a handicap. But let's go on to a race that is not a handicap. It's a grade 1 weight for age race. Fillies and mares over 1,600 meters. It's the Johnson Workwear Garden Province Stakes. And from the purist's point of view, guys, this could be the race of the day. Justin?
Yeah, as you rightly pointed out, this isn't a handicap, so we can use the ratings to guide us into how they should finish. And Beach Beauty 112, Princess Victoria 109. That's a length and a half over a mile. But the leveler here is the draw. I mean, if it was anyone other than Beach Beauty, a 16 draw on a mile at Greyville, you'd say that's the end of her chances. But she's so good, you can't rule her out. But Princess Victoria comes to her definitely with a draw. I mean, draw 4, Blue Ridge Mountain, also drawn badly. It's really gonna play into the hands of Princess Victoria. If she can place well and then quicken when she comes into the straight, she'll have a good chance of getting away from them. For me, the dark filly in the race is Espumante. Raymond gets on very well with her. She's drawn well, running on in the Tibucina last time. I think she's coming back to the earlier progress that she was showing. And I think it's pretty much a race between them. The rest have it all to do at the weights. But as I say, if it was any other filly than Beach Beauty, I'd confidently tip Princess Victoria. I think she'll be a decent price. So following General Sherman, I think she's a good each-way bet, because she's the value. She has a good draw. Beach Beauty will be running on late, I'm sure. But I fancy Princess Victoria. She's been working exceptionally well. In her last run, Bernard was livid when he got off. He couldn't get a run. She literally faltered 2 or 3 times, and she was beaten only a length. She barely came off the bridle. I don't think anything that beat her in that race will beat her again on July Day. And I think she's got a good winning chance because of these draws. So she's a good each-way bet. And Blue Ridge Mountain's quality as well. She'll be doing good work later.
Thunder Dance, interestingly, you haven't mentioned because of the draw, presumably drawn even further out than Beach Beauty. She's a triple grade 1 winner, now trained by Mike de Kock. But as you said, from a pick 6 perspective, he's got Espumante as well. So that's a very solid coupling. The draw, I'm actually very sorry to see the draw this year in this race, because I'd love to have seen all of these fillies drawn towards the inside. I know I stand alone in the world, but I still think that draw sometimes should be seeded. But I mean, can you imagine having seen Blue Ridge Mountain, Thunder Dance, Beach Beauty, Princess Victoria, Espumante, all drawn nicely to have a fair race? So I was really quite sad to see Beach Beauty draw 16, because they'd laid their plans a long time ago to give the Vodacom Durban July a miss and go for the Garden Province Stakes. And as you say, this wonderful daughter of Dynasty has got it all to do now from that draw. Princess Victoria has been knocking on the door. She has the benefit of the draw, Sheldon, as Justin has mentioned. But how do you see the race panning out?
The way I see the race panning out, Beach Beauty's got 2 options. She used to over-race when she used to bounce out and overcome draws and that. They're going to have to just settle her in. If Sean Cormack can get a bit lucky, have her 4 or 5 lengths off them. Princess Victoria, no doubt, is going to have the run of the race. Everything's going to probably fall into her compass and that. Coming to the 300, Princess Victoria, I believe, is going to hit the front. But when Sean Cormack asks Beach Beauty for that effort, the crowd's going to be behind her. And if you just look at that, when she beat Ice Machine in the Drill, she absolutely bolted, and she made up 4 or 5 lengths in a matter of strides. That was at the Greyville Circuit, and a cracking second behind Variety Club. So I think the draw is the only thing that can beat her, but I don't think she's going to get beaten by that draw.
Well, it's going to be a cracking race, the Johnson Workwear Garden Province Stakes. As I said, from a purist perspective, we've got some wonderful fillies lining up in that race. The draw is going to make it an interesting tactical race. So I look forward to that race very much after the Vodacom Durban July. It's certainly going to be a major highlight, the 2013 renewal of the Johnson Workwear Garden Province Stakes, and some wonderful talent on show. The 10th race is the Pomodoro 104 handicap over 1,000 meters. This is for the quickies. Guys, let's move through this one rather snappily, as fast as they're going to run it. I'm going to start with you, Sheldon. The principal contenders, a couple of them ran at Clearwood today.